What's up, guys? I'm back with another video today. This one's going to be on John chapter 3, verse 30, and it simply says, He must increase and I must decrease. So, we're going to break down what that means and everything as well. So, the context here is John the Baptist said this when people noticed Jesus' ministry was growing and John's was shrinking. John wasn't jealous, he understood his role. Jesus is the Messiah, and John was just the messenger. So, he must increase. Jesus is the center, not us. So, this means his name becomes bigger than ours. His will becomes more important than our own plans. His character shows through our life, and his influence grows in our decisions, habits, and desires. So it's all about letting Jesus take the highest place in your life. I must decrease, and that equals ego, pride, and self fades. This doesn't mean losing your identity. It means losing the parts of self that competes with God at the end of the day. So pride decreases, selfishness decreases, fleshly desires decrease, and need for recognition decreases. The old self steps aside so Christ can be seen more clearly. So we're going to go into the decreasing part. So, and that means making room for transformation. So as you decrease, the Holy Spirit increases its fruit in you. So you'll have more peace, more self-control, more love, more humility, and also more obedience. And this is something I'm benefiting right now. But at the end of the day, I still have a long way to go with all of these at the same time, if that makes sense. Your life becomes less about your image and more about Jesus Christ's likeness at the end of the day. So it's a daily choice. This isn't a one time moment, it's a lifestyle of laying down your will for God's will, surrendering your desires, and asking God to change what's not like Him. So, and it leads to freedom, not loss. So, decreasing self isn't humiliation, it's liberation. So, when Jesus increases, our anxiety decreases. When Jesus increases, sin's powers decreases. And when Jesus increases, confusion decreases. Because we're not so much looking at it like in ourselves, because we know what Jesus can actually do for us when we actually let Him into our hearts at the end of the day. So, you lose the things that hold you back so you can gain the one who sets you free. So he must increase and I must decrease. Again, that's John chapter 3, verse 30. John the Baptist said this when Jesus' ministry started growing. He must increase means that Jesus becomes the center and his will starts to trump my will at the end of the day. It means letting Jesus be glorified and not me. And I must decrease equals my pride steps aside, ego lowers so Christ can shine. So decreasing doesn't erase your identity, it removes what competes with God, and then Christ becomes our identity at the end of the day. So when he increases, peace increases, clarity increases, and freedom increases as well. So when you decrease, selfishness decreases, sin decreases, and anxiety decreases. It's a daily surrender and not a one time moment. And less of me and more of Jesus. That's real transformation at the end of the day. So I just wanted to give a quick video about that real quick about what John 3 chapter 3 verse 30 is on about he must increase and I must decrease. And again, it's just making it's the Holy Spirit that does it, obviously, but it's also our surrender to the Holy Spirit as well. That our will becomes smaller than, and then God's will, and God's will actually goes higher than our will at the end of the day. And I've noticed this in my life when I started to do that, some things start to fall in place as well, like clarity at the end of the day. And that's what's really been happening with me. And I know that God still has plans at the end of the day, but it's about still making me decrease and having Him increase at the end of the day, because like it says in the scriptures, we can't have two masters at the end of the day. So, and our only master should be Jesus Christ, because one, he died for us and cares for us, and two, because he knows what's best for us. See, us as humans, we think that we know what's best for us, and I'll tell you, with my experiences, a lot of times when I thought was best for me, it was actually what was worse for me at the end of the day, until I started surrendering to Jesus Christ. So with that being said, I just wanted to share that Bible verse with you guys, and I hope all of you have a blessed day. Have a great day.